Hey guys, Zach King here with another Final Cut Pro tutorial. In this tutorial I want to cover the basics of rendering. Actually we'll go a little more in depth on rendering, but here's what I want to do. I had a couple questions come in about what do you do when you see these red lines above your timeline. Basically, let me explain that when you have these red lines, that means it's unrendered, and if I push play you'll see a blue screen comes up that says unrendered, and that can be a problem because in my clip here I have effects on. I have a couple filters. If I double click this one I can show you I have a color corrector up here. You can see a lens flare, a desaturation, and a vignette, and that is a problem. That's 3 or 4 heavy-duty filters there, and that will cost something to go unrendered, but I can't really preview this unless I scrub through, which can be a hassle, and I can't see it in real time. And the problem is, though, if I want to try a different filter, say I come over to my effects and say, oh, I want to try let's grab a filter here. I want a border. I want a bevel border on this. And that's obviously, that would look horrible on that video, but if I wanted to preview this without trying to scrub through and I can't play it, then what you can do is come up to this RT button. And you see, right now I have Save RT checked, and if I click Unlimited, I can actually preview it. Now you got to know the yellow line comes on, and that means it is on Unlimited RT, which you can preview it, but sometimes it's not going to play the quality as well. See, it's choppy, but it's fine. It's playing in real time, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to test that, and so that's why Unlimited RT is really, really helpful if you want to preview something, because I know it takes a lot of time if you're testing out filters and you don't even know if you want to use it, but you're just trying it. And that's I was talking earlier about experimenting is really important in editing, and you can find some great things by experimenting, but it takes a lot of time if you have to render every single time. Another thing about rendering, if you guys haven't rendered yet, or you're not into rendering, you're eventually going to have to run into it before you export projects a lot of times. And I've worked on projects where I've had to render a 5-minute clip of tons of graphics, even shorter, for like 2 or 3 hours of serious rendering. And that takes a lot of time, and that's sometimes just to see what the finished product is, and it's hard to render and edit a bunch of graphics. So this is a great way to preview everything using the Unlimited RT. I also want to show you, so let's go back to the Safe RT where it turns red. And I have this clip here where we added that bevel filter, and you can also hit Option P, which if you do that it plays it, not as fast. So obviously in this case using Unlimited RT would be a great idea, but if you have a really an effect that's taking a lot of time to render in the Unlimited RT, it might be faster to do Option P for a preview of that clip in a little slower motion, but you know what? It's worth it instead of rendering. It takes a lot of space to render. And oh, you guys also probably need to know, if you don't already, where your render files are going, because rendering takes a lot of space. So when you're done with a project and you want to delete it and get it off your hard drive or your external hard drive, you're going to want to remove those files. So come up to your Final Cut Pro, and it says User Preferences, System Settings, so this area. And we're going to click let's look under Final Cut Pro and System Settings. And when I did that, this box came up, and it has this right here. I have my video capture, my rendering, my video render and audio render, and then also my audio capture. And so I have that set on my hard drive, external hard drive. And I also have my waveform and thumbnail and autosave volt on there as well. Sometimes when I have another hard drive with me, I'll do an autosave somewhere else. But basically you can set, say I don't want my video render there, I can actually set my video rendering somewhere else. So this is very nice, but I like to have it on one hard drive just because if I travel, I don't want to bring 5 different hard drives that are connected somehow with all these clips. So this is where your rendering files are going to go. Final Cut automatically makes a render file if you don't have one set already. But so for this project, if I had rendered it, I would just select the clips I want to render. Maybe I just want to render this clip alone, and you can do that. Apple T or Apple R, it'll render that out to my file, and on my hard drive it's usually called rendered files. So there we go, and we after that can just play it through, and there it is. And if I want to do all of it, you know, I can just come here and render that as well. I'm not going to do that right now. Another thing I want to do is you can come over here. So these are not rendered yet, and we're going to watch these. Another option is coming down to your play base layer only. This will play it, if you see what happens here, without the effect. So maybe you're editing and you just want to fine-tune the video part and not the effect. This is a great way just to play it. Base effect, and the RT button, real time, and that's going to be your finished product other than your filters. So I like to do that a lot too if I have a lot of filters and I just want to get down to the video editing. So that's your tutorial on rendering the basics right there.